All right, what's up, guys? I'm back with another video. This is a recap of everything that I did this week training for my 100-mile race. So I'm going to divide this into the running, lifting, and eating side of everything. But overall, it was a really hard week. I ended up getting 86 miles in with 6 lifts. So a lot of time on my feet, a lot of lifting, but one step closer to the race, 1 week closer to the race, and I got better. So it was a very good week in terms of my training. So I'll start off with the running and everything I did there. So again, we did 86 miles. I usually divide what I do into either a run-walk type of run, an endurance type of run, which is something that I could hold for a long time, or a tempo run, which is very fast, but you can't hold it for that long. So I ran every single day. I went 9 Monday at a 9:05 pace, 9 Tuesday at a 9:18 pace, 8 Wednesday at a 7:33, 12 Thursday at a 9:43, 10 Friday at 9:53, 32 Saturday at a 10:57, and 6 today at a 9:07 pace. So I usually structure my running to where I will do about 80% of my runs in that endurance zone, to where it's mostly zone 2, maybe a little bit of zone 3. I'll do about 10% tempo, which is a lot of zone 3 and zone 4, but maybe zone 5 there at the end, so you're really pushing it. And maybe 10% of a run walk, which is going to be more of what I do during my race, so I might need to start training that a little bit more. But that's usually going to be anywhere between zone 1 and zone 2. Maybe zone 3 if you're pushing it, but probably not. So between that, yeah, I did 1 run walk, which was Saturday, and that was 32 miles. That was after a leg workout too. So I did legs in the morning, then about 4 hours later, I did the run walk. So that one really got me. Just about 6 hours of Planet Fitness. Luckily, I had some football on, but that was rough. And I had 5 of the endurance runs. I already said the times on those, but usually those to me are going to be anywhere between a 8:30 to 10-minute pace. And then I had 1 tempo run, which was Wednesday, 7:33 pace, and that was, yeah, just like I said, mostly zone 3 to zone 5. But yeah, that was the running for the week. 86 miles. It's the most I've done so far in my training. So yeah, very good week for the running. Okay, in terms of my lifting for the week, so currently I'm doing a push-pull leg split. Some people call it PPL. So I do a pull, push, legs. Basically it's the same thing, but I just structure my pull day first because I want to prioritize my back and biceps and rear delts over my chest and triceps. So it's just a different way of structuring it. But yeah, I go pull on Monday, push Tuesday, legs Wednesday, and then I do the same thing for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I go Thursday pull, Friday push, and Saturday legs. Sunday off, which is today. Yeah, it's nothing fancy. That's what I do weekly. For Monday, I do rear delts, biceps, back, abs, and a little bit of forearms. On Tuesday or the push days, I do triceps, side delts, chest, and front delts. And then on legs, I will do calves, quads, hamstrings, lower back, and then I incorporate traps on my leg days just because that's just easiest to structure them for me. So yeah, that's what I do weekly, and I want to keep in mind, or I want my viewers to keep in mind, that the reason that I am still lifting while I'm doing these races, or I'm doing this race, is because I want to keep a certain amount of muscle. So if I only cared about finishing the race, I probably wouldn't lift at all, and I wouldn't eat correctly because I would want to lose all this upper body weight. But my goal is to run this race and keep my muscle on. So that's why I'm prioritizing my lifting and eating while I'm still running. So my goal is to stay around 185 or so, maybe a little bit less during this race. If I didn't prioritize my lifting and eating, I would be a lot less weight, but I wouldn't be able to look as good because I'd probably lose a bunch of muscle. So keep that in mind while I'm doing this. But yeah, lifting this week was good. The fact that I was able to get all 6 lifts in while running 86 miles was a win for me. So yeah. Okay, lastly, for my eating and weight. So this week I take an average for like all my weights. It's not just one day, it's the whole week. So I do all 7 days, then whatever my average is, that is what my weight was for the week. I always do it in the morning too. Always do it at the same time if you're weighing on a scale. So last week I was 190.9. This week I was 189.7. So lost about 1.2 pounds, but it can depend on certain stuff. So we'll say I lost a pound. That is a very realistic weight to lose in a week and not lose that much muscle. So good week in terms of the weight. In terms of the eating, it really depended on how much I was running, just because if I have a day where I'm running 20, 30 miles, I can't fuel like I'm running 5 or 6. My goal is to keep on weight, or keep on muscle, I should say. So if I don't have any fuel or food in my body ready to go for fuel, then I'm going to be burning my muscle that I've worked very hard to get. So the goal is that on the days that I'm not going to be running as much, if I'm running 8 miles or less, I don't need as much food. If I'm running 20 plus miles, I need a lot of food. And I try and structure it to where I have my food in me, or a lot of it in, before I start running, or have a good amount in me before I start and then have a good amount when I'm running. Just because if you run 30 miles on an empty stomach and then you eat all the food after that, it doesn't really add up, because you need that fuel before you run or during it. You need a lot of it during or before it, because then you can actually use that fuel during your run, if that makes sense. I could probably explain that better, but okay, I made this graph right here to show how many miles I ran every day this week and how many calories I ate every day this week. So as you can see, there is a heavy correlation to how many miles I'm running to how many calories I'm eating. And this is going to be crucial if you want to run long distances but maintain a certain physique. If you just like to run, like if running is your main thing and you do not care about having muscle or even just strength training in general, then this isn't going to matter as much. But if you want to be able to keep on weight while doing this, you have to be able to track your calories while you're running. So for me, when I'm like these first 3 or 4 days, when I was only running about 8 to 10 miles, I'm only eating about 32 to 3,300 calories a day. And that's probably even a little bit less than what I should be, but I am cutting, so I'm trying to lose a little bit of body fat. If I was trying to maintain, these all would be up about 400 to 500 calories. So the really main thing you got to look at with this is the fact that whenever I ran 32 miles on Saturday, my calories went over 6,000. So the reason that is, just like I said, is because you can't fuel for 30 miles by only eating 3,000 calories in a day. It's just, you're gonna lose muscle, you're gonna lose mass, and that's not something I want to do. So if I'm running 30 some miles in a day, I have to fuel with a ton of calories. And if I'm not, if my body has no food to use, it's gonna start coming at my muscle, it's gonna start making me lose weight. So basically the goal that I'm showing, or what I want you guys to see, is that there's always a correlation of how much I'm eating to how much I'm running. If you're not really focused on this, it's going to make it that much harder to keep on muscle and keep on size. So yeah.